we've just moved because we don't know where we should be waiting for this bus. Okay guys, so we just made it to Austria and that was a crazy long day for us. Good morning everyone, so it is 8 AM here and we are about to leave Croatia. I'm so sad saying that, it really isn't as fun as it sounds, but we have to because we have a house sit in Austria. So we're about to catch our local bus to the centre of Split and then we're going to catch another bus to Graz, Austria. So that's going to take us about 10 hours, so it's going to be a really long travel day for us. Goodbye pretty views, you will be missed. So we just got to the bus station here and it's in a really handy location because it's right across the road from the ferry port where we caught all the ferries to Brač and Hvar. Yeah, we're just waiting, we got here an hour early, so our bus is coming at 10. It was really funny because we caught the local bus to the bus stop here and everyone was staring at us on the bus because we had so many bags. Hey baby.
Backpacker alive.
Yeah, backpack alive. So we've been on the bus for about 3 hours and we're finally at our first pit stop here. So I think we only get about 10 minutes. There doesn't seem to be a toilet on board, so everyone's been getting out at this stop. So we have just arrived at the Zagreb station and the ride-in was really nice. We didn't have any problems, the seats were really cozy and the pit stop that we had, there was a cafe actually at it so you could get out and eat if you wanted. There was only one pit stop on the way there, but what are you doing? Sorry guys, so there was only one pit stop on the way here and the ride in total I think was 5 hours from Split to Zagreb. So now we have to wait in Zagreb, which is the capital of Croatia. Wait here for an hour and a half to get our bus Austria. So it goes through Slovenia and then it goes to Austria. So we have to do like, can you not? So we have to go through a checkpoint with our passports where they'll stamp us into Europe again with the Schengen visa. So yeah, we're just kind of waiting around here at the moment. There's not really much to do and you have to pay for the toilets. It's 3 kunas to get into the toilet. So apparently we were sitting in the wrong spot, so we've just moved because we don't know where we should be waiting for this bus. So Carlos just went upstairs and he found out at the information centre that apparently we have to wait at 5:04. We've had this problem every time we catch Flixbus. Yeah, it's just super confusing. The only time we've ever known when the buses are coming was in Budapest in Hungary. So it's always kind of stressful when you get off your bus and you've got another one to catch and you don't know where to go. So yeah, we think we're in the right spot now though, so that's good. If you guys are looking for food at the bus stop here in Zagreb, make sure to go to Konzum. It's much cheaper than the bakery food. Okay guys, so we just made it to Austria and that was a crazy long day for us. I think it's about 9:30 PM right now and we got into Austria at about 8 PM. We had to catch some public transport to our Airbnb. So what happened when we were crossing the border from Croatia into Slovenia, they had 2 checkpoints. So we had one checkpoint in Croatia and they stamped our passport, and then we had another checkpoint when we got into Slovenia and they stamped our passport. So yeah, that's what happens when you cross the border. It was really easy at immigration. They literally just stamp it. They don't ask you any questions whatsoever. And yeah, so because it was kind of hard for me to film today since it's kind of a long, tiring travel day for us, so I decided to write down some pros and cons of catching Flixbus. So the pros of catching Flixbus was that, well, it doesn't always happen, but we had Wi-Fi today. So the Wi-Fi actually worked on both of our bus rides, the one to Zagreb and the one to Austria. On the first bus, the Wi-Fi was a lot better. I'll show you guys the Wi-Fi speeds right now. So I think it was about 11 download and maybe like 2 upload, which is really good because on the second bus ride, the speeds were pretty much non-existent. Another pro was that they had comfy seats. On long rides, having comfy seats is a really important thing for me since I sat down pretty much all of today. And the tickets were cheap, so it was 30 USD per person. So it includes your carry-on luggage and 1 suitcase. We actually had, I think, about 3 carry-ons between both of us, but they weren't really strict on the carry-on, so that's another pro. Also, Carlos mentioned that he found the drive really safe, which I agree because they have 2 drivers, so they have turns between driving, so I guess when one gets tired then the other one will take a turn. And Flixbus is always on time. What we've noticed is that they leave promptly. They leave bang on time, so you have to arrive at least 15 minutes before the bus leaves. And they will leave, like if it's at 8 AM, they will leave at 8 AM. They don't leave at 8:05, they don't leave at 8:10, they leave at 8 AM. Today we had a power outlet on our bus, which was really handy because it meant I was allowed to charge my power pack, my cell phone, and my camera. We didn't notice the power outlets previously on Flixbus. I don't know, maybe we just weren't aware of it, but they had power outlets on both of our buses today. Okay, so that was the pros. Now the cons of riding with Flixbus was the fact that not all the bus rides have Wi-Fi, and sometimes if they do have Wi-Fi, it's not usually good Wi-Fi. I mean, today we got quite lucky, but from previous experiences, we haven't had good Wi-Fi on Flixbus. Another con is that there's usually no toilets on board. If you look up on the Flixbus website, they say that they will have toilets on all their buses, but this has not been my experience. We've only had a toilet on maybe 1 of our bus rides. So both of the bus journeys today had no toilet. But the good thing about this is that they usually stop at least once every 2 to 3 hours. And when they stop, they'll stop at a place that has a toilet and a cafe, so you can buy food if you didn't bring anything with you. Another thing to notice is that sometimes it's hard to tell when you're waiting for the bus if it's a Flixbus, because not all the time they're going to be green. So actually I think both of our buses today were green, luckily, but we have had it before where they're white. It is really good when they're green because they're noticeable. So that's another thing to note, that when you are catching Flixbus, they're not all going to be bright green, so just double check which bus you're getting on if it's the right one. Another con of today was that it was a really long journey. So comparatively to a flight, you know, you'd get up really early, but at least if you flew to the destination you wanted to go, it would be over and done with. Whereas catching Flixbus, it was quite a long journey. But we knew this in advance, so it didn't bother us too much. Today we found it really confusing, as you saw before, finding the actual place in Zagreb to get the bus from. Once they had dropped us off at the bus station, there was no signage around saying where our bus was leaving from or at what time. It was just a whole lot of numbers for the bus stops, but there was no signage to say what bus is coming next and what time it's coming at. So Carlos had to walk all the way upstairs to the information center and ask them. If he didn't ask, we would have just been standing the whole time at the wrong bus stop and waiting for a bus that we weren't even going to get on. So make sure when you're at the bus station to find out exactly where the bus is leaving from, especially if it's a bigger bus station. In Split we didn't have to ask, but definitely in Zagreb we did, because that bus station has quite a few stops. If you enjoyed watching today's video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and hit the subscribe button below. And if you wanted to watch what we get up to in Austria, make sure to click my playlist above.